Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Mondays on oNiD Racing. This is the oNiD Sim Hound Season 4 GT3 MPG series. I'm Ben Brown, and with me, as ever, tonight is Mr. Ben Myatt. Good evening, Ben. Yes.
Don't like to mention the one with the chicane. So
Yes.
it's good. I'm kind of coming around to it, which is horrible in and of itself. But yeah, these guys are pushing hard through there, and I've seen a couple of people come a cropper already.
Yeah, so it's worth saying, well, we are at Fuji, as you might have already been able to tell. This is round 5 of the series, with our finale at Le Mans Mulsanne, the full no chicanes version of Le Mans next week, which will be fascinating to watch. Yep, this week we are at Fuji and we are expecting rain. So they've had a dry practice session, but they are expecting rain through the race. We might be blessed with a dry start, but we've seen the weather forecast, haven't we, Ben? And it is going to be very interesting, isn't it?
Yes, we've gone with the usual owned policy. That'll be funny.
Yes,
And,
it's a good way of putting
in
it.
the best weather we can for maximum entertainment. We are here for qualifying this week.
Yes, well, we still had a bit of a crash, so we didn't get all of qualifying. Thank you, LMU. But we have actually managed to get a bit of qualifying in, so we can have a bit of a pre-ramble before we get into the race. We're expecting a race that's going to get progressively wetter through the race. And if it's the first time you're joining us on Mondays, this season we've got 2 times fuel usage. So we've had Baskar and Kiesig being our 2 main suspects for trying to fuel save. It's going to be very difficult tonight, so you'd expect, because it's wet, that they'd be able to use less fuel, but the problem is it could be a dry start, and they might have to swap tyres quite early. So I think for the guys that want to fuel save, that really they want it to start wet, wouldn't they? Because then they don't have to worry about a potential early pit stop.
Absolutely, yeah. They want to be able to just focus on that fuel saving from the off. We saw that there were some people who were able to make going in the opposite direction work at Sebring last week. Alfie in particular getting the win by just going flat out for the entire race and building enough of a buffer. But I'm not convinced it'll be able to do that round here.
Yeah, so our fuel save suspects are 3rd and 4th on the grid at the minute, and it will really be highly dependent on when that rain comes. If it starts off wet, or they want to try and gamble it and start on wets on maybe a drier and maybe it's just a slightly damp track, they might be able to stretch that strategy out. But we're thinking initially it's probably going to be a 2-stopper today, so we'll be seeing plenty of pit stops, but I think most people will pretty much be gunning it. It depends. If they need to stop really early for fuel, it might be a 3-stopper for some. Who knows? But you'll notice there's the usual suspects are up the front at the minute, with Cowley in the lead by half a second to Alfie. Alfie was much the Alfie just kind of, his race pace was just in another world, wasn't it, compared to others, and he was very instant free. So, but you can see the spread in the pace already. That's actually quite a big gap for Mondays. You'll see that we've got Scotty is taking part in the series now, up in 7th place. Good to see her joining us, and also Dave Wood, our fabled co-commentator for this season, whenever he has issues or crashes, is racing.
Potential wet race, so he'll be in the comms box by what, 10 minutes?
No, he assured me he's aiming not to be in the comms box today. So, but he's up in 6th at the minute. Tyler up in 4th. Tyler Hammer in 4th, doing very well right now. Really good, solid lap time of 48.2. I'm wondering, the track looks like it's drying a bit. To be fair,
it does. Yeah, there's definitely a dry line forming. and there's less spray coming off cars as they're moving round.
Yeah, so when we first came into the server, we were about 40% wet. So at that top right bit where we've got air temp, track temp, we've also got wet. So no rain currently, otherwise it'll be showing the rain, but the wet kind of shows the just the dampness, the wetness of the track itself. Very difficult to get up to 100% on there. I don't think I've ever seen it get to 100%, but who knows tonight? It depends how heavy the rain gets.
I think at that point you need an outboard motor and a rudder.
Yes, but what that does mean is it feels like it's going to be last one across the line here to set their last lap is going to be in a prime position. You can see at the top, Alan Axon has put in a lap time up to 4th place. Leon Vesperas has gone up into 3rd. So both of them are a bit further back, and they've really made some moves. And that's Tyler pulling over. I'm wondering if he's decided it's time for dries. He's going to try and maybe do a really fast out lap and try for dries maybe, because otherwise you wouldn't really want to be pitting right now.
Yeah, it's very ambitious. I just want to say that he thinks he got away with it because he wasn't on stream, but I was watching Alfie Bevan just span it in the pits. It's definitely looked like he lit up on wet track as well, so I don't think it's massively dry yet.
But it is worth pointing out as well, we can't see what tyres people are on, can we, Ben? You might be able to. Yeah, you're going to be busy tonight.
Yeah, Alan Axon and Tyler Hammer are both trying their hands on the mediums. I wouldn't say it's going overly well for Tyler because he's just gone straight off. Oh, and as is Alan Axon. They both dropped it off at the same corner.
Well, Scrubs put himself up, Nick Manders up in 2nd. Great lap from him. He is usually quite good in those kind of transitional periods on track pace between dry and wet, and he's proving that right now. 2nd place, 2/10 off James Cowley, who still holds the current pole lap of 1:48.2, and his last lap he was either on an out lap or made a slight mistake. He did no, he was only just slightly slower, so I shouldn't tag him with the "you made a mistake" brush. He was only about half a tenth slower. So
Cowley's running with 70%, 76% VE on board. He's basically got a full tank and he's setting these times.
Well, I do wonder if he's got, because I like to do that where I have a lot of VE but take the fuel out, because it just really blows people's minds then, like us there. Well, Mattis Fusigan up into 5th position. Fantastic lap from him. That's 1:48.9, dipping into the 48s, up into 5th place, and we've got 20 seconds left. Everybody's on laps. I can't see anyone in the pit lane. I'm sure there'll be one somewhere, but everybody's out there on laps. We've got 25 cars out on track. 24, sorry, because we do have a quali ban, I believe, for Townsend, is that? Or is he not here? Not sure. But Anton Semenga was showing as yellow briefly, but this is a good lap from him. He's up on his personal best.
Everyone is still pushing very hard because the track's improving the whole time.
Yeah, it's sat at 12% still, isn't it? So it's not getting any drier, but that's not to say it's not actually drier, because the drying line can happen without that percentage wet coming down, and you can clearly see, like you said, the dry line down the straight. Absolutely visible, yeah. So this is Anton coming over the line then to finish his qualifying off, and it comes through in 11th position. Who else have we got at the minute on laps?
Evan has just set a purple sector 1.
Oh. Well, you can see on the circuit map, I'm assuming that's Alfie by himself there on the map. There's not actually that many cars left on the track. This is Kiesig coming over the line, and he's going to take provisional pole away from James Cowley. Great lap from Christian Kiesig then. And Cowley's not going to be able to respond. He's in the pit lane. So currently, Kiesig leading the way. We've got a couple more cars currently on the track.
This is going to be a bit of a blindingly good lap.
Well, I've picked up Leon, but actually it's Alfie that's coming over. You're right. Look at that pace there. It's the purple sectors. 147.4. Nearly 8 tenths clear of Christian Kiesig. What a lap. What a lap from Alfie. He's really put the hammer down there. Leon's made a small mistake, so that means that his race, his qualifying is done, and that is everyone done. Alfie, the last one over the line with a 147.4.
He's feeling he has to make up for that spin in the pits.
Yes! Especially now that you pointed it out to everyone. He absolutely needs to do it. Right, set starting order, and let's have a little look. So this is your starting grid. Alfie Bevan on pole with Christian Kiesig in second. James Cowley knocked back to third late on, with Nick Manders well up in fourth place. Great for him. Athol Baskar in fifth, with Matthias Fusigan, his best qualifying of the season, in sixth. Leon Vesperis right back in the action as well in seventh, and Angela Scotti on her series debut is up in eighth. Alan Axon in ninth position, repping a Lexus. Dave Wood in 10th, hopefully he will stay on the track. Anton Temenga in 11th, with Charlie Morgan up in 12th, so it looks like a good little track for the Lexus. Petr Jelinek hoping for a bit more luck this week, in 13th. Tyler dropped to 14th position, but had good pace in that rain, so watch out for him coming back through potentially. Frane Doric and Max Farrell on the next row. Hovsep Nazarian, Stefan Reinhardt in the Aston 18th. Florian Bowers and Dan Tomlinson on row 10. Then we have Fabio Gallardi and Olaf Badej, and then on the final row we've got Dean Smith and Amadeo Paggioni, who I do believe has a qualifying ban, and I'm not entirely sure if Matt is here this week. So that is your starting grid for the session. A great start then, although we can't see anything from that angle. A great start then for the day for Alfie, leading us away on a short formation lap.
And he's got the going to have a nice long run straight down towards that turn one to dip away from it. The race is starting wet. Yeah,
so it looks like 5% track dampness, and it is showing a tiny amount of drizzle. You can see there at the top right, that is 1% rain. So there is a small amount of drizzle in the air. We'll get into it when we get into it, but I'm assuming some have started on wets here, preempting. Everyone started on wets. So everybody preempting. So no messing around. They're all going to go straight for the wet tyres.
If it goes dry though, because we know that is in the weather setup.
Potentially, yes.
There could be a period where slicks will be the optimum.
They could.
And people are going to have to make that decision. But they are underway.
They are underway.
Diving towards turn one.
Well, I was looking a bit further back. They were 3-4 wide in the background as they head down into turn one. Alfie covering off the inside. Cowley and Kiesig coming through side by side. A little bit further back, we've got a little bit of contact, I believe. But it looks like Angela Scott pushed out wide, but still maintaining the position. And everybody looks like they've got through turn one in one piece. That's Tyler looking up the inside. A very nice move on Charlie, but Charlie's going to come back. There's a Ferrari on the right. I think that's Petr Jelinek making his move through. I don't want to jinx it, Ben, but it looks like we've managed to get through in one piece through one of the trickiest turn ones, actually. Because the speed they're arriving.
It's very easy to drop it there, and especially when in these mixed conditions. A lot of drivers fucking dicing their way around. Scotty getting a move on out against Alan Axon into around the long horseshoe. It has made it stick. And they're all working their way through the chicane at the moment.
Well, they've all been quite well and polite, which is fantastic to see that everybody's given each other space. That's not to say there weren't some nice moves up towards the front. Leon's up to 4th in the Porsche, so really good start from him. He's up 3 places already. Everybody else looks fairly settled. I think that's mainly because Nick Manders lost 3-4 places there on the first lap. Might have just got shoved out wide as we come back across the line for the start, and Alfie has absolutely gone. If they're all on wet tyres and it's not that wet, how long are these wets going to last?
Not overly long. There was a daily race a while back where it was mixed conditions in the Mustangs, and it started dry and went to wets about midway through, and a lot of people were starting on the wets, and they were down to about 80% by the time the wet weather came in, and that was a 20-minute race. They do not like dry weather, and it doesn't look massively wet out there.
No, not at all. We haven't got any spray. We can see maybe a little bit of moisture offline, but it's really not looking too wet at all. A lot of people with the wipers on, but nobody yet looking for the water off track, off the racing line. Everybody kind of staying in formation. As Dave has managed to, well, he's up to 7th position, but Angela Scott right behind. That's Neat Manders trying to look to the outside. That's not going to work around there, but maybe setting up for the next corner in through mine and Ben's favourite complex, the rubbishy little chicane. Absolutely hateful thing.
It's horrible.
Absolutely.
If you can get alongside someone, it's quite fun, but it's very difficult to get alongside someone through there. These sweepers do tend to catch people. Do tend to catch people out as well. The temptation to light up the rears and spin the car out comes in very quickly round there.
Well, they're maintaining the pace. Alfie has pulled away at the front, so up to 1.8 seconds. Earlier on that lap, you saw Christian Kiesig get passed by James Cowley. I'm wondering what Kiesig's planning to do with his fuel strategy today. We will find out very soon, as we've got an early pitter. I think that was Petter. I haven't seen a start penalty or anything. Is that a tyre change? Early tyre change?
Yes, I think he's gambling on. He's got some damage on the front. Nothing showing on the suspension. I wonder if he has. It might just not be showing. I wonder if he might have dinged the suspension. He's going right. Just give slicks a try.
Yeah, because the rain percentage is increasing. Not that we can visually see it on the screen yet, but you can see in the top right, rain percent is up to 5%. So are we awaiting a bit longer, or is it just going to be this kind of consistent drizzle for the first period of the race? I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, that was repairs for Petter.
Okay, so repairs, probably no tyre change, and that's a shame for him early. Obviously just got caught up in an instant. We haven't really lost anyone from a spin or anything, so Petter is the only one to have had to have pit. Everybody else is still running, and we haven't had any massive losers yet, Ben. Everybody's managed to keep it facing the right direction, stay with the train.
Everyone's sticking with it. There's aside from Alfie checking out, there's a big old train of cars right back down to almost near the back there. There's no one who's really getting away.
Yeah, the front three have kind of broken away in their own little world, as we've kind of become accustomed to in different orders, some at different tracks. Alfie with his win last week that's easily his best result of the season, bringing him back into the championship hunt against our current leader Christian Kiesig. But yeah, Bevan, Cowley and Kiesig all starting to break away. Then our first little pack of cars actually is from Leon backwards in 4th, and then we've got this kind of pack: Dave Woods, Angela Scotty, Neat Manders, Alan Axon, all pretty close to each other on the track right now. We've kind of become accustomed to this, haven't we, where the pace settles and we get a few trains of cars. That's a bit eager. Scrub was definitely thinking about it.
There's a couple of good little fights forming. It is a track you can fight round, which is one of the best things I love about Fuji. But yeah, Scotty and Scrub having their own little fight. Just ahead of them, Matthias Fuscum, Atul Vaskar, Leon Desperos and Christian Kiesig are all in a fight. Christian is dropping off a bit.
Yeah.
His pace is about a second and a half slower than Alfie. We saw last week, if you can keep that pace up, you can offset against those those drivers who are fuel saving.
Well, I think we've got our first inklings of a little bit of an increase in the rain right now. As you can see, we can now see the rain. So the track's about as wet as it was at the end of qualifying now, and there's definitely a little bit more rain in the air as we ride on with Athol right on the back of Leon Vesperas, coming down the main straight. The BMW looking very good in the toe. Whether he's got enough behind him, he's a little bit later on the brakes, on the inside, makes the move as long as he can make the apex just a little bit wide. Leon's going to chop back through, and that's going to leave him open to Matthias Fusigan behind, who's not quite close enough, but you can see Athel's got the pace and wants to kind of move forward a little bit.
Wants to clear these guys and go chasing after Christian. That's probably the person he's most directly fighting against.
Well, I think this is where we're going to see a lot of variation in pace as it gets wetter. How long is it going to take people to get used to the new conditions? Every lap could be totally different with the way that the weather's arriving right now on the track. It's just slowly getting wetter and wetter. Braking distances are going to slowly extend across the race. They're going to have to worry about their TC potentially, their ABS and brake bias, all of these things that they might want to be tweaking as they go through the race. Some won't change anything and will just do the entire race with it, but others might well do. As we fall back, this is Charlie at the front of a little pack here. We've had a spin, and I'm not sure whether it was a full spin, but Athol has made a mistake by the look of it. I don't know if he was having a move on Leon, but he's dropped down a few spots through the last sector, just coming through the last flowing corners. So that's put him under pressure down the straight from Alan Axon. And I was just having a look further back, Charlie Morgan with pressure from Dan Thomas and a Max Farrell right behind him as well.
Yeah, Athel's dropped into a proper fight there. He's got about 6 cars trying to pass him at the moment. But Charlie's had managed to find himself a little bit of space, and he's just pushing away, trying to catch up to those guys in front. Dan Thompson with Max Farrell popping out of his slipstream down towards turn 1. McLaren on McLaren violence, and Aston Martin goes for a wander on the outside.
I think that was Stefan just outbraking himself in the background there, but doing the right thing and just taking evasive action onto the run-off, so not to cause any incidents. Yeah, is that Max past Dan then? That is Max moving forwards.
And they're both catching up to Charlie again. It seems to be, looks like he's struggling a bit to get the conditions under control. Not looking as happy in that Lexus as you'd think he would be. Does have some front end damage.
Yeah, so those are a couple of things that we do need to think about. What damage have people got, and also what setups are they running? Because although they're all using the wet tyres, some will have gone more aggressive towards a dry setup, and some will have gone very safe probably, just in case there is heavy rain. So you might see certain cars drop off on pace, or other cars really step up their pace as we go through this. So Matthias Fusigan having a great race step there. He's up in 5th position. I think that's easily his best performance so far. He's obviously enjoying these slippery conditions in the Mercedes as he's latched onto the back of Leon now.
That dry line is starting to fade a bit as well, and the game is starting to think about rendering spray. Sometimes when you're changing between cars, it's thinking about putting the graphics on for it. But, so it's definitely starting to get wetter across the track out there. It's big train of cars down into turn 1. Fusigan right on the back of Leon Vesperas.
Yeah, this is the queue, isn't it, at the minute? Leon just losing a bit of ground now from being right on the back of Christian Kiesing. He's now 2 seconds behind with a queue of cars building behind him. Fusigan, Dave Wood, and then Scotty and Nick Manders and Athol, all of the rest of them also slowly catching up as well. So I think this is going to become a big train. But Leon not letting him phase him at the minute, doing well to just driving his own race. not making any mistakes, and that's all you can do at this point. There is a bit of spray in the background though, so yeah, good point, Ben. There is definitely some rain, some standing water off the line on certain Dave. No.
Want to do comms that much?
Yes.
That third sector is getting drenched.
Oh.
They come out of dry. Oh, and it's getting very skatey. He's going to have to do a lot of lock on there.
I think Petter's going to be straight in, is he here, or is he just a pit? So a spin from Petter out the last corner, the first proper spin that we have seen, unfortunately. They're being a lot safer than they were last week to anyone that is returning this week after the fun that was Sabring last week. That was that was entertaining. There was plenty of mistakes happening early in the race there, so thankfully they're a bit calmer this week, which is good to see. Alfie's lead not extending. Him and James Cowley running pretty much at exactly the same pace with 3 seconds between them, and a further 4 seconds back for Christian Kiesig, and then there's kind of everyone else. So these three still kind of in a good place. And interestingly, Ben, Christian Kiesig is saving, but not saving a huge amount in these conditions.
No, I think it's becoming less and less worth it, and it is getting sketchy out there. All of the pace has dropped off from all these guys by they're all down to about the 150s from, well, Alfie's was a 146.9 was his best lap, so it has dropped off in a big way as the heavens have opened.
Yeah, it's definitely picking up now. You can see the wet track, the spray is everywhere now. And the rain, although it hasn't massively increased, it's just building on that water level on the track, so definitely starting to get a bit sketchier for everyone. To summarise their fuel usage compared to last week, Sabring, they were using 9% of VE a lap, 9 point something, 9 and change. This week 6. So Kiesig's the only, there's a few down at 5.5. So Scotty, Athol. We shouldn't be surprised that Scotty's doing a good fuel save strategy. She's always good with the strategy, both fuel and tyres.
She does like a good fuel save.
Yes,
Scotty.
So not surprised that she's joined that club. It does mean they've already got a lap more than many people. So some of these people have still got 9-10 laps left. So interesting. It might make for a shorter stop, as you can really see the spray building up. You saw Dave get loose through the last corner. He's just lost the toe from the back of Fusigan. Angela just running in a little bit deep there. Just running in a little bit deep. Probably the toe not helping. Maybe just missed the reference point in the spray. Did well to hold it, but has lost a couple of positions.
Yeah, that went from relatively dry to biblical in a hurry there.
Oh, I think I've commentator cursed Fusigan. Where is he? He's rejoining. It's a spin with no contact, but a spin nonetheless. Dropping back to 10th. That's a real shame for Matthias, but plenty of time to get back into this. Doing well with the. Oh, actually, using quite a lot of fuel. Actually, I was reading the wrong line. I was reading using quite a lot of fuel actually, but yeah. Did well there with the spin, managing to rejoin safely and lose a few places, but no major damage.
As we mentioned earlier, it's not just fuel usage, it's tyres as well. There was a fairly high amount of relatively dry running at the start. That will have taken a chunk of life out of these tyres. There was not enough standing water to keep these tyres in fun condition. So you've got to wonder if anyone's going to be taking fresh rubber at their pit stop as well.
Yes, because if they've overheated those tyres early with the late rain, that might be why we're starting to see some more mistakes, as Athol was side by side with Dave. Dave left him about enough space through the last sector. Athol then right in the slipstream, going to have a look down to turn 1, inside or outside. Dave taking a very defensive line, but not right up against the line on the left hand side of your screen. and it looks like he's going to defend that as long as he can get his braking done. Just a little bit running wide. Baskar up another place. Oh me.
Very nice cut back from Baskar, then just turned underneath Dave as he ran out a bit, and now gets to go back chasing after P4.
Yeah, so Baskar, after that slight moment, dropping a few places earlier on, has worked their way back up from 9th into the top 5. Yeah, I wonder what people are going to do with the strategy, Ben, because they might, if they have overheated the tyres, you could see, and it doesn't take long to heat the wets up, does it, either? A new set of wets is not going to take a long time, so you're not going to have the same time loss that you'd have on the out lap and one fast lap, where you'd lose quite a few seconds doing that. So it'll be interesting to see what people think in terms of putting a new set on. I think now would be the time to do it on that first stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're going to do it, you're going to want to do it at the first stop, I think.
They're generally a bit less, well, for feeling at least, a bit less durable than the slicks in the first place, because you've got less grip in general, and then when they're overheating because there's not as much standing water, they just shred away. It's not like the old days of about 5 years ago, where they didn't used to bother with intermediates or anything. It was just a cut slick. These are proper full wets, and those rubber blocks will start wearing very quickly if you don't have the water to cool them. So I think we're going to see a fair few people taking tyres.
Yeah, I think so. And just to say, we have had our first retirement, Anton Temenga, with a retirement. I'm not entirely sure why, but I've had an incident. I haven't got anything on my tracker to indicate an incident, but unfortunately Anton is out. And we had 2 non-starters, Amadeo Prigioni and Matt Townsend were non-starters. So we have 22 runners. I think a few people using their skip rounds this week. Maybe we had a few who were not interested in going round a few Fuji in the wet. I, for one, would have been here in an instant. So Alan made his way past Dave for 6th position, so Axon up into 6th, but Dave's sticking with him, having a little look up the inside. It looked like a nice move from Axon up into the final corner. Those variety of racing lines that you can have through there. We've just had a spin for Frame Dorich, dropping down the order. Off the track, no damage, but continuing. And let's have a little look. I've actually had a replay because there is a bit of damage on it. Let's go and have a little look and see what happens to Frame. It is in that super slippy stage, probably with overheating tyres, just a little bit loose on the exit.
Yeah.
Just throttle a little bit too early.
You just try and lean that bit too much. That was a
yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yes. So the damage on the front there, obviously coming from earlier in the race. Fred Dorich continues. Lost some time there, but yeah, nothing major. Dave up to 6th. Alan Axon has dropped back to 8th. So I'm just wondering if there's a little bit of a slide or something like that. Angela Scotti back up into 7th position. I am going to show our leader because the fuel usage is... Alfie's definitely pushing. Let's just say that when I look at the fuel usage, Alfie is definitely pushing. James is saving a bit, but Alfie has started to save. I don't know...
I think he's just trying to stretch out that a bit.
Yeah, I think probably realised he could get away. He could do with an extra lap. He's definitely reined in the pace a little bit. So last lap, James Cowley was a second quicker. So definitely some fuel saving going on for Alfie. He has a little bit of a buffer back to James Cowley in second of 3 seconds. Christian Kiesig in full blown fuel save mode is still 8 seconds off, but 5 seconds ahead of the pack behind, so doing really well to kind of find that middle ground. I have got a yellow flag. I think it is Petter again, who's just rejoining. Not having the best of nights in the Ferrari. I think the only Ferrari on the grid. So
yeah, it's definitely touch wood, it's settled down a bit slightly. Alfie is pushing, but trying to maybe go that one extra lap just to build up a little bit of extra space over the guys behind him. But he's dropping Keesing. It's going to come down to time stopped. The time you're spending on pit lane is going to be, going along the pit lane is going to be the same pretty much for everyone, provided you don't miss your pit box. But it's going to come down to how long you're up on the jacks that could make or break races here.
Absolutely. I'm trying to work out who this is on the back of Reinhardt here. So Reinhardt in the Aston coming over the line. Who is that behind? It's not Hobsep. So
It's Scrub.
Oh, he's Scrub. So
What's he down?
So Scrub's had an issue somewhere then, because that's why I was getting confused. I was looking at the overlay going, well, that's framed Orange's car, but it's not. So yeah, Scrub has had an issue somewhere that we have missed.
With a stop go penalty, has just had a pit stop and fully refueled, comes back out, but I think he must have got a little bit hot into the pits there because he has come out with a stop go.
I assume it's not going to be the easiest pit entry, straight off the last corner, and it's straight into the pit lane with a wet pit lane as well. If they haven't practiced the wet pit entry, that might be a bit challenging for their first time through. So that's a shame for the first trip through the pit lane, but hopefully they'll have it sorted for the next time. It has stopped raining, Ben. It has officially stopped raining. So this is as wet as it's going to get at this point, for now at least.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's not going to make its way down to a dry track.
No,
somehow.
no.
It looks fairly saturated out there.
Stefan just getting a bit loose on the entrance into the chicane, having to use all the runoff, loses a couple of spots but rejoins without incident, so that's important for them. That is Scrub trying to unlap themselves on Dan Tomlinson. Obviously got a bit of pace. We're not sure what happened with Nick Manders, but I'm assuming he'll have put some new tyres on, fixed the damage if there was any, and is now working his way back through.
I'll say that
Right.
he is still showing some damage on the front end, and he's only at 36% virtual energy. I'm not sure he's pitted.
Well, he's yeah, I'm not sure how he'd be a lap down. I can't see anything on the incident tracker, so I'm not entirely sure what's happened there then.
It's very odd. Yeah, he is showing us +2 laps on the timing screen, so it's yeah, that's a strange one. He's now just trying to fight back.
Well, I'm wondering if he'll hop into the chat or onto the Discord during his stop to tell us what's happened. Dean Smith into the pit lane in 21st place. That is an early one from Dean. I'm not sure if he's had an issue. I can't see anything, but
well, he's had his stop. He's serving a stop go.
Oh yes, of course, yes. He's serving a stop go now. Yes.
So let's have a look. Right, 2 people who are on the lowest amount of virtual energy. James Cowley and Stefan Reinhardt. Which had Teller Line, Matthias Fuskins on 16%.
It's the thing with the Mercedes can be very thirsty. You do have to manage the fuel in it. If you go full guns with it, it will drink that fuel. So you can see the difference. Well, you can't on the stream, but we can see the difference between Angela Scotty up in 7th, what she's doing with the fuel management compared to Mercedes, who's got 2 laps left already. 2 laps less already, I should say, if I can get my words out. So a big difference between the two. It's just about managing that fuel. Well, virtual energy and fuel, sorry.
And the Lamborghini as well, Alfie Bevan down to 15%. So he's got a couple of percent over James Cowley, but Christian Kiesig 20% VE remaining. So, and I'm not entirely sure Alfie's done enough to really cover off a pit stop yet. It's about 10 seconds.
Well, we've got Tyler. So Tyler's been through the pit lane as well. but has 50% virtual energy. Did we miss that?
They can't have picked up drive-throughs already,
No.
surely.
No. We didn't see anything at the start from a start infringement or anything like that. Tyler was right up there, so I'm just wondering how he's ended up back in 19th position.
The only thing I can think of is they've cooked their tyres and they're having to take quick tyre repairs.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you were going to pit for tyres though, you'd put fuel in at the same time, surely. What do I know? Oh, big slide for Alan there. Go on, Ben.
Minus 10 seconds on his last lap. So yeah, that would be about right for a tyre change.
Yeah.
He's got about 5 laps worth of fuel left. It might just be that he's coming in, gone right. If I take the fuel now, I'm going to have to pit a long way before the end. I don't know. It might be a strategic call, but it's a very strange one if that's the case.
Yeah, and another spanner in the works at the minute is the track wetness is dropping down because of the dry line forming. It's still very wet offline. You can see people starting to move away offline. So the 12% wet at the top is a little bit misleading right now because that's really to do with the racing line. So the racing line is 12%. But as you can see offline, Stefan there getting out of the way as he goes a lap down from these guys after making his pit stop. You can see they're all trying to cool their tyres. There is a little bit of rain in the air, but not enough to kind of covering that racing line again. So you're going to see a lot of drivers trying to keep their tyres cool, especially down the straights, trying to pull out and try and keep those tyres as cool as possible if they are running tyres to the end and not changing. It'll be interesting to see who changes, if anything, and we'll be able to start seeing after the first pit cycle with pit lengths and things like that. So Ben's about to become Ted Kravitz in the pit lane, I think.
Alfie has 0.9 laps worth of fuel VE left, and he's only just crossed the line to start his next lap. He's going to have to fuel save like mad for the last lap.
Interesting. That is Leon making his way to the pit stop. Doesn't have enough to do another lap.
Cowley also in the pits.
Yeah, I was going to say Cowley just went across the line with 0.6 laps of fuel, and I was like, I hope he hasn't continued because you're not making that back.
So who else? Dave Woods. Dave Woods is also pushing his luck. He's on 0.9 as he goes down into. Same with Max Farrell. There's a lot of people who are really pushing their luck on their fuel usage here.
Well, there's still 30. They've been going quite a long time. Are we on for a one stop? No. How long? Oh, are we on for a one stopper? Or can I not math?
Possibly.
I think we might be.
They could do.
Yeah, I think we might be on for a one stopper. Christian Kiesig's definitely going to get his one stopper in, if that is right, because he's going to get the extra lap.
Big slide going through the S's, and he's having to really be very careful as he tries to get into the pits. He's on 0.4 laps of fuel, 2.4% overall.
Well, he's going to make it, but how much time will he have lost? Maybe taking it a bit more careful on this lap, as he's going to come down and enter the pit lane. Obviously, James Cowley pitted the lap before, so it'll be interesting to see whether he can make it to the end on that. Fully committed from Alfie, getting it stopped, no issues about a potential penalty. It's Christian Kiesig doing the Christian Kiesig thing, carries on. He's going to get one more lap under his belt, so that's 2 more than the car that was in front of him, James Cowley, and 1 more than our race leader, Alfie Bevan, as well. Scotty is going to be one of those going over the line for an extra lap as well. So Scotty, you'll see, just moving up the order a bit as everybody else comes into the pits. Athol is very close. He crossed the line with 5.2 1? Is that?
Or no, I'm not convinced he's going to
I
make it.
don't. I think that's going to be extremely close.
Yeah,
The running average for him has been 5.3, so he's really going to have to have a few more lifts and coasts here. I'm
Yeah.
assuming this is to try and fit in with the strategy of getting to the end on 1 stop.
he is coasting around the entirety
Yes.
of the whole field. Yeah, that was. He's got 0.5 laps worth of fuel left, according to the calculator, and he's just about midway through sector 2. It's going to be a bit dicey for him, because you've got to expend some fuel to get up the hill again towards the main straight.
Yes, that is one. That's one thing we haven't talked about is the horrendous uphill of this track, where you have to kind of all that last sector is uphill, and it's all horrible blind corners, as the late apex blind corners, which I absolutely loathe. So, yeah, he's going to be really cruising up here to make sure he doesn't get a penalty, because a penalty really would be game over. I think it's a 30-second hold, stop, go.
Yeah, it will be a
for going over VE,
30-second
so.
stop go for it. It's going to be very, very close. 1.6% as he comes round the last corner. And then he's still got to blast his way.
We've had James off, so James Cowley's had a spin, and I can't see any contact, so that means that's by himself by the look of it. And I think that will probably, if it works out that way, will allow Christian Kiesig to make his way past in the pit stops. So
it will. Christian is in the pits now, as is Attel, having, stretched that fuel to its very limit.
Quite a few making it on fuel here in the league. Although Frane's just getting a little bit loose. It's the pit lane as Scotty is driving at pace. And there was going to be a bit of contact on the rear of Frane. You saw Frane just outbrake slightly, get a little bit loose.
Fuel saving right. He was coming in at 0.4%. He was fuel coasting right into the pits.
I think that's caught Scotty out. So Scotty just tapping the back. Thankfully, both have got to their pit box without any major issues. We didn't see cars sideways across. Oh, that's a stunning camera, LMU. Thank you for that. There we go. Christian Kiesig coming out the pit lane then. Where is Alfie? There is. Wow. Very close.
Christian's made up so much time through that extra lap in the pits.
Has Alfie changed? We can have a look at the pit time. So Alfie changed tyres, I think. Looking at the pit stop times, Alfie's changed tyres. Tyler has changed tyres. Charlie Morgan potentially fixing damage or changing tyres. Dan Tomlinson potentially fixing damage and changing tyres. So
I think that's a wise decision, given Alfie's tactic seems to be go like hell.
Yes.
It's
Frame Dorich might have changed tyres with a bit of damage. Scotty is still stationary, so I'm wondering if they picked up some damage there, because this is longer than the usual stop. If they've picked up some major damage on the front end from that contact into the pit lane, or they've been carrying something earlier, that's going to drop Angela right back.
She wasn't showing major damage, but she's definitely repaired it. It was just a bump to the front end. But I will say that our display doesn't show if it's picked up suspension damage.
Yes, and given that, you may want to fix it if it's got that suspension damage on the front corner, especially in wet conditions where you're constantly fighting the car to not get a swapper on. Having a proper sense of steering might be well advised. So, well, Alfie set himself up for the long haul here then with the pit stop. Change of tyres should put him in good stead here, but I think the big question is, can they make it to the end of the race? We have 28 minutes of the race to go, and
by the calculator, he's got to save about a lap's worth of fuel.
Okay.
He's showing that he's got 13.3 laps. The race is looking to go to 34.
Right.
They've done 20 laps completed.
So it's going to be very close. Definitely not going to want that extra lap at the end, which I don't think there is a problem with. I don't think we're going to have that. But shout out to Baskar then, up to 3rd position after dropping back to 9th. He's made his way up through. James Cowley has rejoined and is struggling with the braking at turn 1. That's Alan Axon going to go up the inside. So Alan Axon, great drive from him as well. He's done well. I think James is going to hold it on the inside. But Alan in the Lexus doing fantastic work today. I don't want to jinx him because I apparently jinx everyone. But he's doing fantastic today. And same with Max as well. Max up in 7th.
Oh, Cowley's off.
Oh, that's a big one. That's going to be, I think that. Oh, there's no wheel off, but that's a big swapper.
Yeah. Car just, oh, he's gone back straight back to
I think that's it. So let's have a look on boards because I think we can understand what's going to happen here.
Lost the engine there.
You can see since the rain's got heavy, we're up to 60% wet there, and I think it should look at the water on the inside.
Snapped on him.
Absolutely snapped on him, and I think that is.
Oh,
gone. You can hear the pop. You could hear the engine pop there. So that is James out then.
It's a great pity because he's having a very good race. Unfortunately, the conditions did bite him in the end, and I think he's probably up for T2.
Yeah, we lost Anton early, and that is the second DNF. Definitely getting wetter though. The rain's picking up 37%, which is I think pretty much the heaviest we've had all session. And yeah, that was the first time you can really see the puddles, can't you now, at the edge of the track. So the lap times are really going to drop down, but the fuel usage dropping as well probably might save Alfie here. Might save Alfie as long as he's looking after that fuel load.
We have dropped down to, he's showing us 33.7 laps to complete the race at current pace. He's 0.3 off on his current fuel load, which, you know, I think that's going to come down even further.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the pace is going to drop off with these lap times. You can see they're back in the mid 50s now. Sorry, the 52 to 54 second lap times for a lot of the drivers right now. So the pace has really dropped off with this increase in rain. They're about 4 or 5 seconds slower than they were earlier in the race, and the fuel usage should drop off. We've got Olaf Badej, unfortunately, has probably met the barrier there. But looks to be continuing with all the rear wing and etc. absolutely fine. That was out of the last corner, so hopefully just a slow motion spin for him on throttle.
No suspension damage, his steering wheel's nice and straight, so I think he's going to have breathed a sigh of relief and he's just dinged the front end slightly.
Look at the rain. Look at it. So we should say that puddles themselves on LMU are not really mapped, as it were. So you're not like on iRacing where you're going to get a significant amount of oversteer, uncontrollable oversteer and aquaplaning. You're not going to get that on LMU yet because it's not really in the game. But what that does mean is that patch is extremely wet. So you won't get the aquaplaning problem, but it will be very tricky.
I want them to change that in a random patch and not tell anyone.
Yes. I can't wait until they want to do that.
Oh, did we leave that out of the patch notes? Oh well.
Can I just say,
people going through puddles.
Dorich is on a mission right now. Just fought his way past Reinhardt. Now on the outside, looking to go past Browers as well. Dorich is a couple of seconds faster than anyone around him.
He is pushing as well. Goes to the outside of Browers.
That was committed, and to be fair, Reinhardt as well, following him through. It's going to be interesting on the exit. I think Dorich is going to get that move done. Really nice late on the brakes from him. I think they're still level. Reinhardt's still having a look, and Browers just giving it the lift, I think, there. Probably for the best. You don't want to be running out wide over that curb. Because in the dry, it's not great. I can't imagine it's particularly fun in these conditions either.
Gets to the point where you're in that spray thinking, yeah, I'm racing. What am I doing? we are going to die if we keep this up. Let's just back off slightly. Oh, big snap from Matthias Fuskin ahead of Friendorix there.
Angela Scotti up to 15th, one of the fastest cars on the track, I should say. So going to be catching that group of cars in front. So still a top 10 on for Scotti in her debut in the series. I will say Alfie is in a world of his own on pace right now. Everybody else in the 55s behind, 54s, 55s. Alfie last lap did a 52.5, which is balmy.
Yeah,
absolutely balmy. 8 seconds in the lead now.
He's not even losing that much fuel to his opponent. It's about a 6% difference, which I know sounds like a lot, but he's got more than enough to see him to the end of the race at the pace.
Well, if he can hold this together, and I don't want to do any jinxing for Alfie, but if he can hold this together, this will really pull him up the title. With Matt Townsend not taking part in this race, he's at least going to go up a place in the standings. This will make it 2 wins. He's dropped round being a DNF, so this is going to get him into the top 3 in the championship alongside Christian Kiesig and Atul Bhaskar. So it might even push him up to 2nd actually with drop rounds. I think it will be very close.
He's pushing very hard as well. There is a lot of twitchy hand movement going on to keep that Lamborghini in Vettel.
Well, we haven't seen him much on stream, but Charlie doing what Charlie does in wet conditions. I'm so proud in the Lexus. He's absolutely smashing it. Max, to be fair, doing very well up in 6th place as well. But Charlie moving his way forwards and getting it stopped down at the horrendous chicane. Just got Dan Tomlinson, who's also made up a few spots as well. So Max getting hassled by a couple of oNiD team drivers. It'll be interesting to see what they're like down the straight. I think this is where we've been talking about different setups and things, and people being braver or more confident in wetter conditions than others. Yeah. I think this is really where it's starting to come into this in the last 20 minutes of the race now.
Absolutely, and Charlie is looking very confident there. He's right on.
You could see the hand movement there through the external shot of him having to mop that up on the exit, but he's right in the toe.
And that's Stream's going to pick up, get the overspeed. Max very much on the defensive line there. He's not going to make it easy, nor should he.
Absolutely not, no. I think Charlie might be trying the undercut here just a little bit earlier on the brakes. Is he going to try and undercut? He's going to look at it, but wow. Ooh. Max must have just got on the white line a little bit, just compromised his exit a little bit. I think he's probably going to give that one up. Charlie then committing to the corner, making it through into 6th position, and Dan looking to follow through as well. That's not Dan. Sorry. Who's in the... Oh, is that Tyler a lap down?
It is Tyler.
It is Tyler a lap down. Okay.
But fighting anyway.
Why not? Well, we know Tyler's pretty handy in the wet as well, so it's a shame that he lost time earlier in the race. But yeah, that is Charlie up into 6th. Max still in 7th and got a 12-second gap back to Dan Tomlinson. The rain nearly stopped again, but the track is in a much poorer condition than last time the rain stopped.
Swimming pool out.
Yes.
I'll say, in credit to Max, his awareness of where Charlie was there was excellent, because he had on the inside, started to come across the apex, then realised and bailed out of it, and that let Charlie just carry through on the inside out of turn 1. So fair play to him, because it would have been very easy to have gotten into an accident there.
Yeah, especially through that corner, which in the dry is committed. I can only imagine how much lifting and braking they're having to do in the wet, but it's not a natural place where you can go through too wide. So going through too wide in the wet would be a little bit... Oh no, we've just lost Florian in front, but he saved it up. Great save. Just got a little bit loose out the corner, maybe a little bit eager on the on the throttle, or just a little bit unbalanced. Great save though from Brouwers. Loses the spot to Hovset, who moves up to 11th, but Brouwers in his own race, driving his pace, did well to mop that up, didn't make contact with the wall, didn't spin. So continues unabated. Let's have a look. We've just had do you know what? Everybody's broken up a little bit while some people are pulling away from others and others are catching others. Let's go and catch up with who haven't we seen much on stream. Do you want to go and... How's Dave ended up in 14th? What's he been doing? Because yeah, his pit stop wasn't particularly long. I assume he's had a bit of an issue somewhere.
Dave and Scotty not far behind. Not far behind, about 8 seconds back and closing. So these two will happily get into a fight with each other right now.
Well, and they're both massively catching the cars in front of them as well, to be fair. Dave was 3.2 seconds faster than the car in front on the last lap, which is Matthias Fusgen. So Dave looking to see if he can work his way back up towards the top 10. It'll be interesting to see what's happening with the cars that change tyres, because we're pretty sure that, for instance, Charlie changed tyres and you could see just how sprightly he was in that move.
The pace.
The pace difference
is
and
real.
Yeah, and you can absolutely see it with Alfie as well. His last lap, Alfie was still 2.5 seconds faster than Christian, and Alfie is now actively saving that fuel to be able to make the end of the race as well. So you called it early. You called it early there with the potential for the best strategy to be a full tyre swap.
Yeah, and Scotty and Dave as well, I suspect, have changed tyres given the given how far they've dropped and given the pace pace they're showing relative to cars around them. I think that there's been a few people who've gone, yeah, I'm not on this current pace. I'm not sure how much Alfie's saving, but he's got enough fuel to get him through to the end now. Oh no, he's definitely saving. He's coasting right up through the Essie.
Well, I think to be fair, I don't know if he's struggling in the wet, but he's definitely having to save a little bit of fuel. And Dave making the pass down the straight up into 13th place. We did see that Matthias had to pit a little bit earlier than some, didn't he, at the start in the first pit window, so he might just be having to save a little bit of fuel to definitely make it to the end without a additional pit stop. I think there's going to be a few who might have to splash. I'm not sure. For instance, there's 15 minutes left. A lot of people have anywhere between 8 to 11 laps of fuel left, so 8 laps of fuel left is going to be close if you're in that boat.
Just about enough. Alfie, I actually know, because he's picked up the pace. The amount of laps it says he's going to do is extending slightly again. He's up to 34.9. So he's just shy by about half a lap at the moment. So it's but he's got the space to save it, to be fair. So it's not going to be too bad for him, I don't think. But the next on the rain has stopped. The window wipers are automatic on this, so the fact they've turned off shows there's no rain coming down. But the next weather we're showing on the floor, heavy rain. So
heavy rain. Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna drop in a biblical fashion.
And with a track that's already so high on wet. So just to put it in some context, folks, you can see why I don't think we've seen it at 100% before, because it's 60% right now and it's pretty wet for them. Even though it's not actively raining, it is pretty wet, as that is a move just getting lapped there, I believe. Petty just getting lapped by one of the Porsches. Or unlapped.
That's Nick Manders unlapping himself.
Well, whatever happened to him earlier in the race, to be fair to him, I don't know if he's running... His last lap was the fastest of anyone on that lap. So the last lap cycle, Nick Manders was the fastest on track in 20th position, working his way back through the traffic. I mean, fair enough for carrying on and still having the the sweatiness, let's say, to put in one of the fastest laps right now. He was the only driver in the 51s last lap. He did 51.9.
You can tell who's made the mistake of not mapping a manual window wipers button as well. Because if you go on board with Peter Jellyneck,
can he not
he's
see?
Not got a lot of visibility.
Oh.
Actually,
he's all right down the straight, but yes, I see what you mean. When he's getting close to someone, that spray and covering the screen in water is not going to be ideal, is it?
No, it absolutely fills up the windscreen. You might be able to spot who's using bonnet cam as well by the fact that they never turn the windows on.
Hello. I use bonnet cam on this. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't on a set of Corsa though. On an AC tomorrow, I do not. I use cockpit cam. I just find it easier with the GT cars because the limited visibility sometimes gets me on my screen. So yes, I hate to say it, I do use bonnet cam sometimes.
It's fine. I use it on pretty much everything unless I'm in VR. So it doesn't bother me.
I have found I've changed the field of view a bit, so it's less bonnet cammy, more kind of dash cammy, kind of. So it's a bit more like on board. So it's not totally heinous, folks. Please don't totally kill me. But yeah, I don't know what it is about Assetto Corsa. I just really like the onboard cockpit view. That was Tyler unlapping himself on Alenaxon, and that is. Is that for position? No, is that Neek again? So that's Scrub again. Behind, look, trying to unlap himself.
Fighting everyone.
Yes. Petter with another little off there, just rejoining, not having a great time of it in the Ferrari. We do get murmurings that the Ferrari can be a bit leery, and obviously Fuji in the wet is not the one for that car, unfortunately. It's worth pointing out as well, the pace is improving for a lot of the drivers. So Christian and Athol are now on pace with Alfie for lap by lap, but a 14-second lead. And Alfie is doing a fair amount of fuel saving as well right now. His last lap he used less fuel than Christian Kiesig, which doesn't really happen very often, does it?
No, he's got the gap for it as well with that 15-second buffer. He needs to save about half a lap's worth of fuel, but he's not been saving at all, anything near close to that. It's just because the pace he's been setting alongside it, the amount of laps that he's that he's expected to complete has been going up and up. So even as he's trying to save, the race is actually extending for him.
Which is good for him. Oh, I've shown it on stream. Hi, Dean. I can't believe after last week's conversation he's still using it. Come on, Dean.
It's
now the football
season
starts.
That's
Yes, the best we can say. But good to see Dean back again. Currently last of the runners, but running in one piece. Had to just have a pit stop, which is why I just went to him. He's a little bit out of sync after the early incident, but. Raz JCTV in chat. Yeah, pretty much. I agree fully. Somebody appears to have graffitied on the side of Dean's car. This is Charlie, by the way, catching Alan Axon for a top 5 position.
He's absolutely catching him. He's not far off. I mean, that's Nick in front of Nick Manders in front of Alan. Who's that in front of him? I genuinely I can't tell. That's Tyler Hammer in front of him in 17. So the next two cars after Alan Axon are both lapped cars.
Yeah, who I think are in their own little world of absolutely bombing it round right now because they don't need to fuel save or save anything. So Scrub and Tyler are kind of playing off each other, both the two fastest cars on the track at the minute by quite some distance, by nearly a second compared to everyone else out there enjoying themselves, I think. I thought I'd pick up on Fabio. Not really seeing him much today, but keeping it on the track. We saw that one slight slide that he's picked up very nicely, getting out the way of Kiesig in 3rd position, but up in 16th place. So great effort from him, surviving in one piece in very tricky conditions. We're currently waiting for the downpour. We're waiting to see if it turns up.
Watching to see when people's windscreen wipers turn on.
Is it about to become an oNiD special? Because it is slightly drying up a little bit right now. So are they going to get a bit more comfortable with the conditions, and then is it just going to give us our fifth period of rain in the race?
I think so, yeah.
I like it, because this is the benefit of the way that we can schedule weather in these races. Is so much better than a couple of the other sims. Obviously, iRacing does its own thing with the weather mapping, with the forecasting in its own way, which is very good. But LMU's way, where you can have this kind of super realistic, where you're caught in between showers, just like I was caught in between showers at Silverstone a couple of weeks ago. I can confirm we got quite wet. Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, that one
really, Charlie really. Alan is not defending the inside. Is Charlie going to be better on the brakes? It looks like it's a kind of half effort. Alan's given him the space, and Charlie makes the move. So I think confidence in the rain mixed with a bit of new tyres there, making the difference. Alan really not putting up much of a fight there. I think he kind of knew that was coming, and is trying to concentrate more on making sure he gets around in one piece, which, to be honest, I don't blame anyone in this situation at all. Very tricky conditions tonight.
Charlie up into P5. They're both going to chase after Leon Vesperis. I'm not sure they've got the race left to catch him.
Oh! Alfie's had a spin. So, he's not going to lose the lead. Yeah, I don't think he's got any damage, but we'll take a look at it. Alfie. The rain's come down. Maybe just getting a little bit overconfident. Is it going to be... Where is it going to be? Coming up to the penultimate corner, isn't it? Just going to get a bit loose, just maybe a little bit early on the throttle.
Yeah.
Has he hit anything? He has. I know you can't see it, but he has hit the wall, I think, a little bit.
We're getting a little bit of front end bodywork damage readout on the
that's
damage
not
display.
I don't think that's going to affect him too much. He's got 5 minutes to get round. He's still got an 8-second lead, and to be fair, I think he's got most of his required heavy fuel saving out the way. So
yeah, he's 32. He's got just about enough to get to the end and without running out. It's going to be very tight across the line. He's not going to be able to spin, that's for sure. But,
yeah, that's the one mistake out the way. That's the one he's allowed. The front three kind of, actually, to be fair, Leon's built up a gap behind them as well, so that front four looking fairly good right now, with Charlie Morgan, Alan Luxon 5th and 6th. VFang24 asked, what team is on Dean's car? Do we have to go back to it? He has decided to allow someone to graffiti Leicester logos on the side of the car, which just can't get on. I'm sorry, Dean. I like you, Dean, but come on now. We've just lost.
I could do a Gillingham livery and everyone would just go, who?
Hovsep has had to pit. Do we think he was running out of fuel? Or has he had a little moment somewhere? I can't see, unfortunately.
Oh, that looks like damage.
Oh,
I think he's picked up damage.
Picked up a bit of damage. Okay, that makes more sense. So that's a shame late on for Hovsep. He's going to lose quite a few positions here. He's already down to 14th place with a few more cars quite close to him. As he comes down the pit lane, I think he's going to lose one more there to Stefan. So he's going to come out of the pit lane in 15th position.
Going to hold on to that position from Fabio Gallardi, but yeah, the car was looking a bit left-hand down.
I think we've had an issue for after that. It's a disaster for Baskar.
Oh, no.
Absolute disaster. I just saw that Leon had made his way past, and Baskar has no rear wing, and he is going to have to pit. I mean, we've seen people trying to get round with massive damage. These are not the conditions to try and be getting the car around in that kind of state. That's a real shame.
that's going to take him to the end of the race, I suspect.
Yes,
That damage is going to run him right through to the end. To
I think if he does manage to get rejoined, then that's going to be interesting. Oh, he's trying. I can't blame. So he was trying to lap. Who was it? Gilardi.
Gilardi?
I think it was Gilardi. I think, or you might be right. It might have been Browers. Actually, I think you're right. It was Browers. But he's just got the power down and moved up the track on him. I don't think we can blame that one on. Oh, come on. I don't think you can blame that one on the lap traffic there. It's about the car behind passing safely, and I think Admiral just moved across, didn't quite leave enough space. And to be fair, Browers didn't have the space on the outside to move out any further. You don't want to be out on that curb. So, and unfortunately, that's pitted Bascar across the track into the wall, losing the rear wing. So that is. You can see him on the left-hand side dropping down the order down to 14th position. Real shame. I literally said that the top 3 or 4 can take it easy.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it's always the instinct you say it, isn't it? It's like the universe loves an ironic moment.
Well, you can see the gaps. The gaps have really stretched out here with the conditions. We haven't seen too many big crashes, have we, thankfully, compared to last week at Dry Sebring. But there's definitely some incidents happening and some people feeling a lot more confident. The change of tyres seems to have definitely given a few people some chance to work their way back through. Dave Wood has been passed by Angela Scotti. So Angela Scotti up to 9th after losing all those places through the damage fix. Dave Wood up to 10th, still has made up a lot of places as well, to be fair. And I think Frayne Dorich has just made his way past Dan. Dan's in. Dan's out of fuel. So he's having to pit, I believe.
He is.
But he's static for a long time. I haven't seen anything come up on the instance. So yeah.
He must have coasted it right
must
in.
have coasted right in. So looking at it, I think everybody else should be fine on fuel, but
I'm not sure Leon Sparrows can make it.
Oh, this Alfie's going on to the last lap right now.
Yeah, he's got enough to make it. Leon Vesperis is coming around the last corner with... No, he's not the last corner. He's just on the first of the S's with one.
Oh, you're right.
He's
going to be very close. He saved his last lap. He used 4.3% VE. He is in a huge fuel save mode. He has got a bit of a gap. He had a bit of a gap behind him, but that is Charlie for position behind him for the podium. So
Leon's diving for the pits.
No, do you know what? I don't think he is. I don't think he is. So Charlie here must be. Charlie's going to get past him. I don't think there's anything that Leon can do here because he needs to save a lot to make it to the end here.
I'm not even sure. I don't think he can feel safe enough to get to the end. He's got 0.6 laps
trying
as he goes round turn 1.
Well, I think, Leon used a lot of fuel that last lap, probably trying to keep Charlie behind him. Charlie has made the move then, so on for a podium, his first podium potentially of the season with 2/3 of a lap to go. Leon then, he's not going to be able to come back at Charlie, I don't think. He needs to be wary of that fuel usage to get to the end. It's going to be very close for him over the line, isn't it? He's really going to have to save a lot more, and Axon's only 3 seconds behind, so it'll be interesting if he has to save even more. Alfie is... Well, Alfie's just in he's out of the last corner. It's a good job I swapped him. I didn't realise that's how far ahead he is. He's got a decent lead against Christian Kiesig. Alfie Bevan, late spin and small amount of damage, not going to stop him. Comes home for the second win of the season, second in a row. Fantastic result for him. Dan Tomlinson comes home in 11th behind him then. A lap down. Christian Kiesig across the line in third position. Charlie Morgan, safe on fuel, is going to look like as he comes through the last corner. No slip-ups. Charlie's going to come home in third position. And Leon, we're just going to watch Leon here. He's going to make it, isn't he?
He might. It's going to be very close. He's on 0.
He's on 0. Take your foot off the throttle, Leon. Well, that's cruising across the line. Absolutely cruising. Alan was that far behind. Alan Axon comes home in 5th position. Great effort from him. Leon made it.
How he managed to avoid the stop-go there, or the post-race in this case, is beyond me. Max
and Frane Doric across the line together. Max just getting the better exit out of the last corner. Comes home 6th position. Frane Doric in 7th. We've got Angela Scotti coming home and debut for the series in 8th position. Nice and safe on fuel as well. No issues. Good comeback after having to fix that damage in the pit stop window. Dave Wood, another good comeback as well after an issue in the middle of the race. And Florian Brouwers will be our last car over the line in 10th place. Wow.
Oh, you love wet races.
What? Yes, that was. it was fantastic. But yes, what a race.
Oh, that was really good. That was properly mixed up, and yet the same 2 guys up at the front still fighting away at outright pace.
Absolutely. I mean, as you can see, Alfie Bevan coming home with the victory. Another solid effort from him after struggling at the start of the season with a 7th and a 5th and a DNF. He's come through with 2 race victories to really bring him into contention. Definitely into the top 3, and with Bascar's issue late in the race, that might push him up to 2nd. Will be very close. Christian Kiesig will continue to lead the way in the championship after coming home in 2nd. Another solid performance for him as well, and that is, well, he's finished first or 2nd in every race, Christian, so let someone else have some podium for next time. Charlie Morgan, a big shout out to Charlie, his first podium of the season. Really getting to grips with the wet weather and the Lexus here at Fuji. Coming home in 3rd place, taking the podium late from Leon, who had to do some mega fuel saving at the end of that one to still come home in 4th position. Alan Axon finishes off top 5 with a great run with his season best as well. So Leon and Alan both up there for their season best. Max also there, I believe, for his season best too, in 6th position. Frane Doric up in 7th place. Nice return to form for him. Angela Scotti back with a bang in 8th position. Good comeback towards the end. Dave Wood in 9th, and Florian Brouwers bringing up 10th. Not making any mistakes and coming through nice and safely to complete a top 10. Let's get the next page when it wants to do it. There you go. Dan Tomlinson, a lap down but coming home in 11th, even after a late splash and dash. So we'll be disappointed with the late splash and dash, but to be honest, 11th place after that, not too bad at all. Stefan Reinhardt, good result, up in 12th place. Matthias Fusigan, with a few issues in the race, comes home in 13th, made the fuel in the end. Hovsepp missing a rear wing, no, not missing a rear wing, but some damage and a bit of a splash, finishing in 14th. Tyler working up back into 15th. Petter, I think Petter might actually be happy with 16th, given how many times that Ferrari was giving him grief in that race, in 16th position. Fabio Guidali comes home in 17th. Athol Bascar, after a late moment with a back marker, comes home 18th after having to put on a new rear wing. Nick Manders with the fastest lap of the race, if you count the last 20 minutes, was 19th. Olaf Badej in 20th position. And then as we go to the last page, we have Dean Smith was our final finisher in 21st. James Cowley and Anton Semenga were both DNFs, with Amadeo Paggioni and Matt Townsend non-starters. Wow.
Yeah. Well, the big news, Alfie Bevan has moved up to second in the championship. He has displaced Apple Batscar. There's 30 points between Christian and Alfie, and it's all going to come down to Le Mans.
Yeah, I think the only way that Alfie can win is if Alfie wins the race, gets fastest lap. I think Christian's pretty much got this tied up with drop rounds, because the worst drop round right now is a second. So I think I'll have to go away and do some maths. So
Yeah.
before the next round, I'll make sure I've done a bit of maths here to work out exactly who's won. But I'm fairly sure at the minute that Christian is pretty much guaranteed to win that first place with one round left.
I'm pretty sure
round.
at this point, yeah.
But
yeah, I keep forgetting there was a drop round in there, because that's
yes,
changed the maths on me.
yes. Even with if an Alfie win will just keep the same drop round of the DNF. So yes, it might be. Yeah, and Christian's would be a replacement for second. So currently a second place is dropped. So obviously a better drop round as well. Athel's still in third then in the standings as well. So and Matt Townsend should be back next week. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Our top three is still realistic. Will be realistically between three people in the standings. So
It should be a hell of a race. I mean, I can't see how you can do an awful lot of fuel saving down Le Mans Mulsanne.
no. That's worth mentioning next week. Let me bring that up, what we've actually got ahead of us next week, just to remind you all. So I'll get rid of this and you can have a look. Just to remind you, next week is Le Mans Mulsanne. Normally at Le Mans you get the chicanes. You can, if you want, you can do a bit of fuel saving, quite heavy fuel saving actually, down at the two chicanes. That's not going to be the case next week. Flat out for, what is it, a minute down the straight?
Yeah,
at least. So at least a minute down the straight. So we're going to see who the fastest is in the straight line, and also where the hell do you save fuel on that. I think we're probably going to be stuck with a two-stopper next week unless there's a magician among us.
I can't think of anywhere, once you take out the chicanes, where you can do an awful lot of fuel saving around Le Mans.
No, not without losing a lot of time.
Even the Porsche curbs, you're having to be fairly on it for the entire run through.
Yeah, so, well, we've got that next week to look forward to. So, thanks very much for joining us this evening. We should be back tomorrow, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We had some issues last week with the Assetto Corsa, so we had to delay everything a week backwards. So we should be back for round 4, the delayed round 4 at Silverstone 2005 tomorrow for the British stock car. So please feel free to join us then for that. We've obviously got the usual schedule of things coming through the week, and we'll be back, myself and Ben will be back next week on Monday for the final round of the season at Le Mans. Anything else, Ben, or all good? So we all finished?
I think we're all good, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much everyone for watching, and from both of us, goodbye.